Hello again. I hope that my voice comes through. I think that the little mic pickups on the other side of the device. So as you can see, I've got a bit of a mess going on, and I just have to be real, because I am. But it's been a really rough couple of days, and the energies have been really heavy. And there's been a lot of extreme projections and sort of attack that I've been under. And so I don't know what that means, if that means that some steps were made. Now, I actually did, this is part of a reading that was all laid out, and I had several parts to it. And this part that's left here, I put the other cards up because my grandson is the one that mixed them all up. But this particular part here was the little column on the left that actually had to do with interfering parties. And so it's something that I've kind of been like avoiding because I don't really like to, you know, get into those energies. However, unfortunately, they have kind of pushed their way into my space lately. And so since these were still out, I really felt like I was supposed to go ahead and go through with this, and for whatever purpose it would serve. And hopefully this doesn't get turned off because, you know, I definitely have somebody on my devices. I shouldn't have space to record this. And so sometimes if I say something that is some serious proof or offends whoever's hacking me, it gets shut off. But yeah, I kind of was working on a new sort of money making option, and it has to do with sort of electronics, so it works, and definitely had some extreme like evil eye thrown at me as I was working, and some sabotage going on with it. And there's been a lot of sabotage along the way, unfortunately. And so, like I said, I don't like to deal with this stuff. Besides the cards that here, I'm gonna have to put back in order, that were the basically the interference column of the read that I didn't complete. This one actually still managed to keep its way out. So like I said, I don't really like to you know, operate in any sort of energy of like competition. But a lot of junk has been thrown at me, and I feel like it was partially just somebody trying to get me in that energy, to where, you know, I've been like hostile, losing hope, trying to like prove something. So I would see somebody in a way that I really truly don't believe that they are. I feel like, do I have the 3 original bottom of the deck cards? Yes. So this is a continuation of this read concerning if the Knight of Pentacles goes towards his priestess, who is his twin flame, his true twin flame. So I'm just going to put these here for a minute as I try to remember what the order this other column was in concerning, you know, and I hate to use the word karmic interference, but, you know, literally karmic interference. And I feel like I'm just meant to actually talk about it, as much as I kind of didn't want to. Sort of like with the interference and the sabotage, I've kind of forced, like I said, forced their energy into my mix and forced their way into the scene. I did have somebody on another comment ask me if I was reading with somebody in particular, and I'm sorry if I don't respond to comments. I have more, I feel like, hating sabotage than I have support on this page. It's highly messed with. It's highly shadow banned, and somebody's been desperate to keep me and my true essence hidden, and then like if they can get me in a place where I'm, you know, set off, then they like to sort of highlight that, of course. But also I do feel like I have had some of, like, when I get some work done and produce something beautiful, it actually is shared a bit. And then I feel like definitely, like, my singing voice, those videos have had likes messed with and views messed with and stuff. So High Priestess is the Queen of Cups. Oopsie. So anyways, these cards are still out, and I feel like it's for a reason, so we're just going to go ahead and go through with this. Now, the first one that came out as I was putting this, and you have to, like, look for the other readings concerning these. They all kind of have these cards and say things like, if the Divine Masculine goes towards his true twin flame, the High Priestess. And so, I don't know, there's like video 5 or 6 concerning that. But I believe that when I was, like, pre-shuffling, and the very first card I cut to was this Empress in reverse. And so I basically set that down as it was almost like a pre-bottom of the deck sort of a card. It'll be here when I move these cards. And, you know, these ended actually being the bottom of the deck of these 3 decks. And then, like I said, in these other readings, I was actually reading straight out of the manual. And so they were lengthy readings with these 2 decks, just to really get like some key words. And then where is my other booklet? And I'm sorry if I have to go let my 17-year-old dog out. He's having a rough time. He's definitely in his final days, and so if I have to leave for a minute, I do. Okay, so I do remember that under the Empress in the reverse, and I kind of had it sort of just sideways, like for purposes of layout and the other thing, and I don't know if there's any other significance to that. You know, I need to start by lighting some stuff. It's quite the flame. It's actually a Palo Santo match, really cute, like matchbook like type set, which is good because it was given to me, and I feel like it's going to go in my car. And I also need to get like some evil eye protection for when I actually go out to make money, as that, like I said, got highly interfered with the other night in a big way. I feel like somebody's just kind of desperate to see me lose heart. So I should try to be. I'm actually like lighting stuff that's got quite a bit of flowers with it, just to basically like support the heart chakra and to try to keep this reading in an energy of love. Really difficult to do when you feel like your stuff has really been sabotaged in a hard way, and a whole lot of scandalous, conniving type energy has been thrown your way. My story goes really deep, so just trying to keep it real, but also in a spirit of love. I feel like I have hope that even the like most sabotaging and ill-intended people sometimes are young and get caught up in sort of like the wrong thing. I'm just lighting some lavender right now. Like I said, trying to keep it floral and loving. Oh, it smells so amazing. All right. And so, you know, just trying to keep myself in my best place and not give in to any sort of thwarting sabotage. Trying to keep it in an energy of love, even despite some pretty extreme thwarting and sabotaging energies. Okay, so I do remember the Empress in the reverse was clarified with the Queen of Wands in the reverse and the King of Cups in the reverse. And I will try to pick these cards up and show them because I've been getting a few possible messages out of imagery. Now, I do remember that the Seven of Swords, I feel like was originally on the Queen of Wands with the Six of Pentacles in the reverse on the King of Cups. And for some reason, I felt the need to sort of like switch them around. But also at the same time, I feel like there's some really big reason that these two cards came out together and are connected concerning the Empress. So I don't know if it means the feminine energy and masculine energy of, and I feel like that's why I switched these to put the Pentacles with the Queen of Wands, keep feminine energy together and masculine energy together. But I don't know if these are two aspects of the same person, but I also kind of sort of had this feeling that, and I can't remember what movie it is. There was a movie where basically this couple, the woman had, you know, her hidden lover in the background or on the side as they were both setting up and conning and playing the husband. And it's bugging me that I can't think of what movie that was because it was like, I feel like a pretty sort of like popular movie, if you'd call it that. Maybe it'll come to me. Something I haven't seen for a really long time. But they end up really losing out. And so I don't know if this also has to do with a female person and a male person that kind of got in the way of the divine union. I call them obstacles and roadblocks and learning lessons to try to be positive. But like I said, I feel like it could be the partner that lost their own place in the game. I feel like there was some stuff done to trick the masculine. And to answer that question, I don't know who exactly I'm reading for. I do know that some of this has to do with like my situation and what I've been through and how, and trying to make sense of why a lot of this has gone down against me. And, you know, knowing who I believe my twin flame to be, but not even knowing the name of the person that he ended up with. But I also have heard a lot of different messages, and certain ones do seem to resonate. And I don't hear voices or messages or words or phrases. That's not my spiritual gifting. What my spiritual gifting is a very deep inner knowing and intuition, especially when it's in regards to the safety of myself or my twin, or our connection being blocked, messed with, or put in danger, because I do believe that we have a very important mission and job to do together. And that, you know, I put out another video about like the extreme misinformation going around about twin flames, and there's a medical aspect to it in my story and situation, and that is actually what confirmed who this person is. And, you know, time will tell if we do connect, but I feel like we will, and I feel like that's coming up, and I feel like that has to do with some serious projections that have gone on lately. So anyways, I may be reading for somebody else that's in sort of a similar situation. I feel that some of us are on the same script. I don't feel that like my message is for a broad general audience, but it would be for a select few mature couples that are similar in age, as we were put through this journey and this program for other reasons that I don't want to get into because they're controversial and would be considered conspiracies or a conspiracy theory. Of course, when stuff is declassified, it's no longer a theory, right? But so yeah, that's to answer that question. And yeah, so here we go. And so what I definitely know, and like I said, I don't know the other parties involved. I absolutely feel like they know me and they know who I am, as there's been sort of an attempted destiny swap sort of thing go down in my life, as well as I feel like theft of intellectual property, designs and ideas, and you know, definitely like some contracts put in the works to destroy me and take me out of the game completely. And this is part of why I feel like, well, it's mostly just like we're astrally connected. Like, I'm not trying to get into anyone's head, I'm not trying to speak for anyone, but I do believe that, you know, knowing who my twin flame is and whether we will end up being together or not, like, I really certainly do hope so. I believe that without knowing the details, that he's actually been through a lot of the same things that I have, and I've been through a lot of the same things that he has. And I believe that's part of why we've had these experiences in our life, is to be in a place where we can understand one another, and we all make mistakes. And I feel like oftentimes when you're sort of like, you veer off your journey, but also I feel like there was a lot of trickery involved in that happening when you're sort of like misguided or tricked heavily. That, I'm sorry, I'm being messed with already. I believe that, gosh, I lost it completely. Anyways, I do feel like that we went through some of the things that we have to be able to support each other fully. And like I said, I'm not trying to speak for anyone. I'm not trying to get in anyone's head. I do know that I share a lot of the sort of same, I don't know, desires, visions, causes, challenges, like I said, vision for how my life can impact the future in a positive way. And I feel that the same goes for him. And I feel like that, like I said, like, okay, this is where I was trying to come back around to. When you are in a place where you may have made a wrong move, or maybe I should say hadn't chose the right move or whatever, or fallen for something, then it can put you in a place of acting out of your true self. Just kind of like when somebody that's actually not, say, not generally super promiscuous or whatever, you know, has like a really extreme breakup, you'll have that sort of like rebound phase where you're kind of acting crazy for a little while to get that out of your system. And also, I do believe when it comes to alpha males, sigma males, that, and especially some of us that were, like, say, I'd say put through breeding programs, that we actually do have like a really high, you know, sex drive, to not like sugar coat it or figure out a better way to say it. We have those like sort of aspects of us that are possibly like amped up more than they would be often with, like, say, other people. And so I try to put all things in perspective, and, you know, try to actually like realize that some of it is false slander, and some of it may just be us learning our mistakes as we get that stuff out of our system and get into a place where we are ready to be serious about things. Find that, and I also believe that when you have a twin flame, actually, and when you actually have a person that you were with in past lives and had made previous contracts with, that if you are with other people, that you won't be fully satisfied. And that, you know, I do believe like cheating and stuff can happen. I do kind of seem to think that like more cheating went on in regards to the female, and the one that sort of tried to take my place, basically. And more so than him. And